Hello guys, this is all sort of films, aka Malachy here, and welcome back to another episode of Malachy's Trains, and today we are going to be looking at 3 diesel engines, those being Derek, Diesel 10 and Smoke. I know what you're all thinking, you already talked about Derek in the second episode. Well, I won't be talking about that one, I'm talking about the new one I've made, so let's get started. So, back in January, I saw a 3D printed Trackmaster or Player Derek body show on eBay, and I decided to buy it to update my Derek custom so there wouldn't be a reskin of Salty, but I soon found out that it didn't ship outside of the US, so I ended up going with the Player DD51, which was my first Player item I've gotten since the 30th anniversary pack with Thomas and Harold. I also bought it before they announced the new stuff for the 80th anniversary. Mostly as I plan to review most of the 80th anniversary products at some point in the year. As soon as it arrived, I got to work on it. Also, while I was working on it, my Hornby 3D printed LBSCR E2 body shell arrived, which is what I used on my Audrey style Thomas. I was going to use the wheelbase from a Hornby Ginty Somerset and Dorset Railway Blue, but it ended up getting ruined, so I had to temporarily use a Hornby Thomas wheelbase. I'd also plan to do a Malachy's Trains episode on that. But anyways, let's get back to how I made Derek. The face from the previous custom was also glued on compared to the original, which was just stuck on by using glue tack. The buffers were also taken from a Tommy Gordon I was going to use for an OC called Mitch, but I might use a different one for him, or add him in my series about Edwin that I thought about doing, and a Trackmaster 2 Gordon tender. And also it is motorized compared to the previous one, which as you may know was made from a Trackmaster Talkin' Salty. Anyways, let's also talk about Diesel 10. I also wrote this section back in October. As you may know, Diesel 10 was introduced in the movie Thomas and the Magic Railroad as the main villain, and he came to Sodor while the Fat Controller was on holiday along with his sidekicks Splatter and Dodge, with intentions of destroying Lady, although that was originally written for P.T. Boomer, but it was altered after he was cut from the film as test audience thought it was too scary for younger children. After that he appeared in Calling All Engines, but he was toned down to being grumpy, but like all engines he wanted to be really useful. He then made a cameo in The Great Discovery, which was his last appearance in the model series, before returning in the post-credit scene of Misty on Rescue, which was his first appearance in the CGI series, which led into Day of the Diesels where he was the main villain again. Up until that point, he was a movie-only character, until he appeared in the episode The Missing Christmas Decorations, which was his last appearance in the show, not counting his Claw Pinchy appearing in a fantasy sequence in What Rebecca Does. Originally, the Diesel 10 that I used in my series was a Crash and Repair Diesel 10, which was used throughout the first 3 seasons of my series, and when I did the 2 remakes of the Calling Plant and Chase scenes from Thomas and Magic respectively. But in April 2024, a friend told me that he saw a lot of Tomy track engines and rolling stock, plus take along Elizabeth and Harold, and another Ertl, George and Terence. One of the engines that was in that lot was Diesel 10, so I figured I should use it for my main Diesel 10 and have the Crash and Repair one be used in some scenes. I did used to have a Tomy Diesel 10 when I was a kid, but the motor for it broke, so I had to use Boko's wheelbase for him. I did later use it for a custom of Baller, which is now lost. For the paint job, I got the idea from one of the deliveries on the Trains model that's on Clay Truck Works. At that point, he was one of the few large diesels in my headcanon that didn't have embedded faces alongside Jeff and Dr. Beeching, so I repainted it using some paint I had gotten on my trip to York. The windows were coloured in using paint pen, but I did try to prevent getting any paint on the eyes. If you've seen the final part of the railway fair, you also may know that the eyebrows were originally here, but that was later altered while filming for Lady the Lost Engine. I also did the same thing with my Crash and Repair Diesel 10, as that got repainted for the miniseries, but I couldn't make Pinchy go up and down without using my hand. So yeah, that's my custom Diesel 10 out of the way. Now we get to the third and final diesel engine, Smoke. Now, for those of you who don't know, Smoke was a diesel engine that was meant to be introduced in the cancelled movie The Adventures of Thomas as the antagonist of the film. He is described as a large black diesel engine and is the leader of the Diesels. Because The Adventures of Thomas was cancelled when Mattel bought Hit Entertainment, we don't really know what type of diesel engine he was based off of. For my interpretation of Smoke, he was based on the BR Class 52 Western. For the model, he was made from a Trackmaster CGI Diesel 10 but modified to look less like Diesel 10. After I removed the face, I glued on a piece of paper over where the face used to be. I also removed the claw before repainting it, although if you've seen the 2024 recap I did, you probably may know that you saw a photo of it being worked on. The face was also made using plasticine, although I didn't think I did a good job at the back windows, although the front windows came out decent. I have planned to include Smoke in my 80th anniversary of the Railway Series special as the main antagonist, although in it I'm gonna give Smoke a different persona as I felt he was a bit of a rehash of Diesel 10, which was one problem I had with The Adventures of Thomas, and as to why I was glad that the movie didn't come out, and why he didn't appear in my rewrite of Thomas and Metro Road at all. So that there covers Derek 2.0, Diesel 10 and Smoke. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode.